What's up, everybody? This is Whisky in the Six. I'm Rob, doing the Kavalan Madeira cask. This one was bottled in 2020. It's 5 years old. Truth malters, the truth is a cherry bomb to end 2020 is worth a shot. So this one is 57.8%. They're calling it a cherry bomb. I'm gonna nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. So Truth Malters is a company run by Larry and his brother. They are from Canada, but Larry lives out in Taiwan. So they've opened up this company to start sourcing and bringing in Kavalan to Alberta specifically. So pretty successful business from what it looks like. This was picked by them. There's a whole bunch of expressions that they've chosen and brought into Alberta. This is one of them. All right. Madeira is not a very common cask for Kavalan. I think this is a new experiment with them. It's definitely the darkest Madeira cask I've ever seen in my life, which leads me to believe that Kavalan is heavily charring all their casks right before they fill them. All right. So they're recharring the casks, in my opinion. I don't know that for sure. That's just my guess, because the color of their whiskeys always tend to be really, really dark. And Madeira isn't the darkest of wines, or fortified wines anyway. So, a little bit of cherry on the nose. I wouldn't necessarily call it a cherry bomb, but there is cherry for sure. Very alcohol forward on the nose. I got this one at a really good deal in Liquor Lodge, but I think this was going for around $300 retail across the board. A little bit of like a sawdust kind of note. It's like a light oak. Definitely quite a bit of alcohol on the nose as well. I'm going to toy with this one and give it a little bit of water probably after my first sip. So the palate's nice. Definitely not as burning on the palate as it is on the nose. A little bit of cherry, not much. On the finish, you get a little bit more of that cherry, actually. So this has calmed down quite a bit, actually, from when I first opened it. Obviously, we've taken some out of this bottle. It's been open for a good 2 months, if not more. And now it's actually getting a lot more cherry notes on the palate, especially on the finish. Almost like a cherry cough syrup kind of note. I'm gonna add a bit of water here, see if it changes the nose at all. My trusty Sipper Social Club dropper. Okay, the nose definitely changes a little bit with water. A lot lighter. Maybe some like vanilla sweetness on the nose now. So the palate, I think I might like a little bit more without the water, but the nose is definitely more approachable with water. And the finish does have cherry. Now that it's opened up, the bottle's a little bit different than when I first had it. I am getting cherry on the finish for sure. Quite a bit of it. But that's really the only note I'm getting. Is it good? Yeah, it's definitely good. I don't think it's worth the price, to be honest with you. 5 years old, you're looking at Vino Barriques, Port Cask, Solist, the Sherry Solist. You can get all those for much cheaper than $300. So I would probably lean towards those if I were you guys. This one was a cool experience. But again, not a whole lot going on the palate. It's tasty. There is some alcohol burn in there. And you do get that cherry cough syrup kind of note on the back end. Not overly dynamic. Gonna give this one an 83. It's good. Definitely not worth the price. This is bottle number 199 of 223. I'm sure there's a lot of people that really like this. They like that just sweet fruit bomb. And I don't know about cherry bomb. I've had stuff that's more cherry than this, especially like a George T. Stagg, for example, much more cherry forward than this Madeira. But I do get it. I wonder if that's coming from the Madeira or if that's coming from, like I said earlier, the fact that they probably char their casks before filling them. And that's what I think gives Kavalan their signature taste. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to bet on that. I'm pretty sure somebody will probably correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I think they char all their casks before they fill their cask with their single malt. I could be wrong, but that's my theory. As far as Madeira goes, Madeira is always one of those things where I don't get a whole lot of influence into the whiskey itself. I did notice a little bit more in the Springbank Madeira 17-year-old that recently came out this year, or at least at the end of last year. A lot of fresh oak on this, now that I'm nosing it with water. So, it's good. Again, good stuff. Would I spend $200+ on this bottle again? Absolutely not. I am not concerned about ever getting another Madeira cask with any whiskey for that matter. That's not just Kavalan on its own. I'm not a big fan of Madeira cask finishes or aging whiskey in Madeira in general, just because I don't find they're overwhelming in a good way. So that's just my preference. This is good, but it's not great. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an 83, like I said. Alright guys, that's it for me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Get the bell to get notifications for when I do release a video. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and support this channel on Patreon. Cheers.